maybe that's something that was present in your life as part of your karmic path, right? So connections to women, or maybe even people in general, but I'm sensing more into feminine energy, that were emotionally manipulative. Again, sometimes it comes from just fear and distortion, and sometimes it's actually deliberate and malicious. I feel there's something in that final energy for you. There's inner maturity that is happening within you, coming from a place of deep independence and self-work, something that you've been putting in and investing in you, and it's really grounding internally within you. But there's also something around heartbreak and learning a difference, right? So bear with me, because I'm hearing many things. Maybe you're contemplating on those moments. There are many ways that we can break someone's hearts, right? I always teach you guys that it's not just romantic relationships, right? So our children, our parents, our best friends can break our hearts. Heart is just where we carry our emotion, where the emotional attachment to someone as well. So sometimes, so I'm hearing that you broke some hearts in this lifetime, but you're learning now the difference where you have and you don't have control over it, right? So sometimes you break someone's heart because how you treat them, because how you deliver certain messages, because perhaps a lack of sensitivity, I'm hearing as well. It's a deliberate action, right? So when you look back, you realize, I broke this person's heart. I could have done it better. It could have been avoided, right? The situation, it came from my shadows. It came from my maybe egoistic desire for something in a moment, and I didn't think how it could impact others. There's something as well about you being more conscious of impact on others. But you're also learning, I'm hearing, that sometimes you can break someone's heart simply by putting up a boundary. Putting up a boundary that is, again, a consequence of your self-love and your self-worth. And you're not breaking their heart because you're deliberately, maliciously breaking someone's heart, but it happens because they don't have emotional stability, emotional balance, right? So sometimes you can be the best, the strongest, the most compassionate person on the face of the planet, and someone will still say to you that you broke my heart because, for example, they want to be with you, they fall in love with you, but you know that this is not a person for you, right? So what if it happens that, let's just say this situation to really visualize this to you, you have a group of friends, and then suddenly a friend of yours tells you that she's in love with you and she wants to be with you, and you say no, and oh my god, you broke my heart, but I didn't do anything. Do you understand? So there's a difference between breaking someone's heart because you're playing with someone, because you're deliberately making them feel like there's a chance, because you seek for validation, because you seek for entertainment, because you don't know how to play out certain things, right? It's coming from a place of distorted masculine energy and a shadow, so then it is on you to process. But sometimes you just simply say no to something that, no, it's just not me, with masculine firmness, with a boundary. And it may be because someone wants something with you and you're not interested. It may be you have to put up this boundary. Maybe this is as well a situation that happened recently. True man is on this journey, especially divine masculine. When you mature, you start to react to attempts of other women and flirtations of other women in a very different way. Because in the beginning, distorted masculine, you seek for validation, It's coming from a lack of self-esteem. You seek for applaud, you seek for validation, you like having a lot of women that are interested in you. And when you mature and you really, especially on this journey, when you connect deeper to your divine feminine, even though you're in separation, this sense of loyalty and this sense of maturity awakens within you. So if a woman flirts with you, you no longer in the past you say, oh, it's not on me, it's not my fault that they want me, it's not my fault. But then subconsciously or even consciously, you flirt with them, you reciprocate that energy, you will play the game, right? But when you mature and this sense of loyalty towards your feminine awakens, you start to feel like, no. It's just, they showing me this scene. I love this scene. Oh my God, this is one of the scenes that every man should watch to really understand true divine feminine energy. It's a scene from A Bodyguard when Kevin Costner, he stands next to a bar and this woman comes to him and, I was watching you all night from the corner of this room, you are this and that. And he looks at her and says, well, perhaps you should go back there and continue watching. I'm not interested, lady. I'm not available. I'm not looking for anything. It's a boundary. So if you put up that boundary with someone who wants to play a game or who wants to force themselves on you, and in process they will say to you, you broke my heart, it ain't on me. Manage your own heart, right? I feel like there's a lesson. It may be a couple of things that happen. It may be the lesson with your mother or with someone that you had to put up that boundary, but it also may be someone making a pass at you. I feel there's a lesson that is teaching you that sometimes we hurt people and it's deliberate, it could have been avoided, it's coming from a place of fear, it's coming from a place of shadow, whether that's validation or whether that's right, and we could have avoided that. But sometimes we hurt people by doing the right thing, and it's not on us, it is them who have to deal with that trigger and with that karmic lesson. All right, I want to pull a couple of Ds to confirm, and then maybe we're going to do, I do want to tap a little bit into your connection and what's going on in your connection, and then maybe we'll do some guidance for the next week, as I was hearing. You guys, oh my God, I am the sorcerer. Thank you. I love when Source does this. There she is. Mother wound. Number 11. I feel like you are going through a very deep understanding of the mother wound. This would not be your first rodeo. You know how I always highlight to you guys that we heal in spirals. Healing journey is all about going inwards. It's about, for a moment, detaching from the external world and just living in this bubble of me, myself, and I, to through yourself, because you are the universe and you are the representation of everything and the mirror of everything external. It's really understanding the meaning of life, the meaning of human nature. And then as you embark on this spiral and you heal all your wounds, it's not like we're going to start from mother wound, bam, healed, next father wound, bam, heal, avoidance. No. As you heal, you expand, you change, you grow, you shift, you evolve, and then you become a new person, a person who is able to revisit every wound in a deeper way, in a different way, from a different angle. So we revisit all our wounds a variety of times on this journey. And I feel like this is a very meaningful, deep, significant visit into your mother wound again. We started from that. You are really learning through tests, through situations that are being put in front of you, how to embody within you healthy feminine energy. You are now understanding, you would really understand what within us comes from the feminine energy. Right? And that distortion within those things is always caused by a mother wound. which doesn't mean, someone recently said in a conversation, and I didn't respond because I didn't, it was at a small party that I attended, and whenever I'm not asked for advice, I don't feel like entering certain conversations, but especially there was like a bit of a pleasant sort of a scenario. But someone said, talking about therapy, shadow work, inner work, there was this girl who said, oh my God, it seems like it all go back to mommy and daddy, and they want to put, shift the blame to mommy and daddy always, right? But they're just doing the best they can. And I immediately felt that she said that because she herself is a relatively new mother. I mean, her kids already have I think 7, 6, 8, I don't know. Whenever people talk about kids, I kind of go into my own world. But I immediately felt that it was a reflection that right now she's afraid of the mechanism of putting the blame on the mother and the father, because she herself is a mother and she understands that she's trying her best, but it doesn't matter. Shadow work, therapy, understanding that yes, everything starts from a mother and a father, because they are the beacons of two building blocks within you, the feminine and masculine. But it doesn't mean that we put the blame. Quite the opposite. Working through your mother wound and working through your father wound, it's what teaches you the greatest compassion. It's what teaches you that it takes a victim to create a victim, that they themselves must have had parents that created that distortion. Whoever heals that is a generational trauma breaker, is the one that says no more. It's not the ones that shifts the blame. It's not about the blame. It's about deep awareness. It's about deep understanding. It's not about my mother was emotionally unstable, so she didn't teach me self-love. No, it's about my mother was emotionally unstable. I feel for her. It's her wound that she inherited and she couldn't deal with. And because of that, I was not taught self-love. Now I'm going to break that trauma. I'm going to teach it to myself, and I'm going to help her to learn it as well. That's why we do it. It's not about shifting the blame. The whole point of shadow work therapy, whatever journey you embark on, is to put the finger on you, but to understand the root cause. Because it's not your mommy's fault who you are. You are a grown up adult. It is your responsibility to understand that wound and heal that, not shift the blame. But without understanding that it comes from a mother, you'll never be able to do that, right? So I feel like you're really going deeper on that mother wound. You would not only understand everything that comes from a feminine energy, every part of you that is associated with a feminine energy, but you would also understand generational trauma. You would understand that it's not about the blame, but it's about understanding. And there's this deep work on self-love and self-worthiness, that that the fact that you didn't have it comes from your mother. Not to blame her, but to understand her. And then now it's time to put up boundaries for yourself. I feel that you would also be contemplating on, because remember we've talked here about seek for validation. You would understand that emotional manipulation, seeking for validation, seeking for attention, those are all things that come from distorted feminine energy. I feel you really connected the dots between you. I'm seeing the Casanova card. So maybe you actually broke some hearts. Maybe you had your Casanova era, where you were connecting to women, where you knew that you didn't want anything, but you were enjoying the attention. You were enjoying the admiration. You were enjoying the validation. And now you understand that it came from the mother wound, that it came from lack of self-esteem, worthiness, self-love. Dark night of the soul. Dark night of the soul. Dark night of the soul. Maybe you are going through dark night of the soul. The dark night of the soul is a painful yet very necessary process in our spiritual awakening. Your soul is going through a complete and deep purification. You may be receiving downloads, visions of painful memories, remembrance of your mistakes. You are being thrown into the hell of your darkest shadows to heal and surrender to the divine. This can create confusion, helplessness, and even disconnect from your existence and its purpose. The meaning you have given to your life before is no longer valid. You are here to achieve more, to be more. You are asked to release and reevaluate. Remember, it's always darkest before the dawn. Didn't I say that? You are in a quite dark space. You would feel into that waiting room, and I feel in that waiting room in between two versions of you for the past 9 years and the future 9 years for the fire horse. You are facing the darkness. I don't feel like it's a big of a surprise. I feel like this is a very deep dark night of the soul, but it comes already with certain awareness. So we're not touching on shadows that you've never touched on before. Do you understand? So it's those final rodeos for the integration of certain shadows, because it's that mother wound. You would really right now through that dark night of the soul that it's quite difficult. Maybe they showed you certain situations, certain moments. This is how it usually happens. We receive downloads. They put images in front of us, memories every single time in your life where you acted in a way that was a consequence of that mother wound, right? Take a step back. Take a step back. Gaining perspective. I feel this is it, you know. I feel that what I'm hearing is that in the past, you already went through this. Okay, so you already would be working on in the past on your mother wound. Maybe you had some dark nights of the souls. Maybe you had some realizations, things that you did to, you know, in connections to other women, maybe even to your divine feminine connection with your mother, women in your life, your feminine side of self. I feel like you went through this. But what I'm hearing is that the previous time you went through this, it was a bit of a, you were still a little bit in a victim mentality. So you were still, what happened, that previous realization put you in a state of, oh my God, I hate myself. What did I do? What have I done? Right? Now it's a more of a masculine approach. It's a more of a mature approach. We are revisiting this wound, not to hurt you again, not to break you again, but to give you a full, deep visual and a full understanding so you can actually embody from this day on healthy feminine energy that loves themselves, that set boundaries, that is aware how your action influence others, right? That doesn't seek validation, that doesn't seek applaud, that doesn't seek attention. You're really gaining perspective and awareness. You would also be looking at all these situations, whether you realize it or not, but I'm hearing that you're looking, connect the dots, helping you to connect the dots, understand your past better and how it was key to lead you where you are. You are looking at the situation not from a place of, how could I have done this? I cannot forgive myself. You now understand that all these things had to happen. It's like you see the puzzle pieces. You connect the dots. You understand. My mother, I had a soul contract with her. She had to give me this wound. She had to give me this wound for me to really, in this lifetime, this is why we choose our parents, right? So if you come to this world in this lifetime to really overcome lack of self-esteem, lack of worthiness, avoidance, whatever that is, you choose a soul that will be your mother, that will give you in this lifetime the pattern of that wound so you can overcome it. Without it, you wouldn't be able to do it, right? It's like that's what I'm hearing. So like you're connecting the dots. You're not looking from a place of victim mentality. What have I done? Lack of self-forgiveness. You're really forgiving yourself. You're really closing this. You're starting to understand why it happened. Really, that perspective. Beautiful. Let's do 2 more. Past relationships. Past relationships, we said that as well. Number 26. Maybe someone you dated was 26, just came to my mind. Maybe it's a detail for some of you. I heard that maybe someone you dated recently had like 26th birthday, or it just can be a detail to some. But you would be looking at your past relationships. I'm hearing reviewing all the women you've been with. All women, not just, in a relationship, not just physically, everything. Women you flirted with, women you led on, women you had adventures with, one night stands with, women you had relationships with, maybe even some friends. It's like you're really analyzing all the relationships, feminine relationships in your life from a perspective of that mother wound, from the perspective of your own feminine energy, the hearts you have broken. And again, going back to that 2 types of broken heart that we've explained. One more. Who is a provider? Number 66. This is a very masculine card. It's from a divine masculine category. You are probably familiar with the cliche saying that a true man is a protector and a provider. So what exactly are you expected to provide? In the distorted system we live in, this concept, just like many others, is misunderstood. True divine masculine is not the provider of financial wealth. He's the provider of abundance, order, emotional safety, love, structure, and security. Your role in the divine order is to provide a foundation for the divine feminine to flourish and create in safety, creating balance, harmony, nourishment, birthing ideas, inspirations, and channeling divine wisdom. Whilst you focus on doing, she focuses on being in connection to spirit. I'm hearing 2 things with this. One is you are realizing how much the true divine masculine is a protector of the feminine heart, is the provider of safety for the feminine heart, and you are not that. So you're taking accountability. You're realizing that in the past, for your own wounded feminine, for your own validation, for your own attention, for your own ego, for your own entertainment, you deliberately broke some hearts, and you didn't care at that moment. But you wouldn't feel guilty anymore. I'm feeling you've overcome this. You now understand that it had to happen. It's just a game we play, soul contracts we have with others. And all these women, it's right, the hearts that yes, it could have been avoided if you acted differently, but they also have a blame here. They also pushed, they also exposed themselves, that they also didn't act it in a divine way. This is how our hearts get broken. So it's like you could have avoided it, but you would know what I mean. You would know what I mean. So that's the first thing that I'm hearing. And second thing, whether you realize it or not, is the structure and stability, emotional safety for a woman. So you are realizing now, because you're standing in your masculine power, going back to that relationship with your mother or feminines in your younger years, that your role was not to be a doormat and a people pleaser and allow them to manipulate you because they were emotionally weak. Your role was to provide a masculine strength. And obviously it's not something that you were expected to do with your mother as a child. This is your mother. It's the mother who's supposed to protect you. So it's not on you. But now you are a grown up adult, an adult man who has healed, who has embarked on this journey to become a better man. So now you can put up a boundary with your mommy, and it will actually provide emotional safety for her. You can now, as a divine masculine man, provide emotional safety for her. It starts from putting up a boundary, saying no to whatever is it that she's wanting you to do or she's trying to manipulate. No. But then knowing that she does this from a place of lack of emotional stability, you go back to her and you help her to feel stable. It's okay, mama, right? It's okay. I know you may be feeling confused. I may know you may be feeling this and that. I'm here for you. but I will not cave, because we have to lead from a place of strength and love, not from a place of fear and manipulation. The how and the when. Master of your destiny. All right. I'm proud of you. This is big. This is big. This is a lot. This is sometimes we fail on this journey to pat ourselves in the back. So let me do that. I mean, where you are, despite the fact that you may think that there's still, growth, there's always growth and expansion. But where you are, you're anchoring yourself in your divine masculine. You're anchoring yourself in your inner union. If all men knew what you know now, the world would be a better place. You're doing amazing. You're doing amazing. All right. I want to tap into your connection, and then what's going on in your connection, and then we will do guidance. What's going on? Time is ticking. Tick, 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 tick. Time is ticking. I'm trying to be patient, but I want you to return. I want to return to you, right? Depending what we're being apart from you feels like an eternity. So you, they were showing me like this ticking clock inside of someone. You would feel that the clock is ticking. Number 9, maybe 9 is important as a birthday, as a month. Maybe you've been seeing a lot of 9s. We're closing the cycle. 9 is a closure of a cycle. Maybe you would feel really time apart from your feminine is taking its toll on you. That's what I'm hearing, but not from a place of longing, and not from a place of impatience and a shadow, but from a place of, man, it's time. You would feel that it's approaching. You would feel that you want it. Let's see what else. Time is difficult to calculate when in union, but feels never ending when apart. It's true with the divines, true divine counterparts, true twin flames. When we are together, time stops. It's relevant. Sometimes we feel like it's been a moment and the whole day passed by. Time flies when we're having fun, because we're one frequency. It's an ultimate fulfillment when we are together. So the time is completely, it flies in an unexplicable sense, right? But when we are apart, it feels like eternity. Every year feels like 5 minimum dog years that we live in. Too many. Hold on, that's too many. What else? Illusions. My obsessive thinking got the best of me. I allowed my emotions and others to control and dictate my actions towards our connection. I finally understand, and I need to trust my intuition. I feel this goes back to that manipulation, because remember we talked about how the distortion in the feminine energy around you not only caused distortion in your own inner feminine, but distorted feminine manipulates. So I feel this collective, you would really have a lot of lessons with manipulations, with how other women manipulated you. If you watch me, you would know that I often give you this example. The divine masculine on this journey, when you are distorted, when you are wounded in the beginning, you're obsessed with being told what to do. So when someone actually openly, upfront, tells you honestly, listen, I have this advice for you, I have this suggestion, you get furious. You're right. So, and oftentimes your feminine does this. Maybe you should try this, maybe, right? And you get furious. It's like, don't tell me what to do. But then you have a lot of karmic manipulative connections around you. You don't even see how they're manipulating you. I'm hearing as well a third eye. So maybe you're going through an activation of your third eye. So maybe you've recently been feeling it everyone experiences this differently. Maybe you can be going through headaches, you can be going through migraines, you can be going through a bit of a feeling of dizziness, sensation of that pulsation of energy in between your brow area. It's exactly right here. Maybe you even have some visions or some dreams of literally that eye opening. When our chakra is really balanced and the whole system is really balanced, we sort of expand our consciousness, going through from energy body to light body, and those spiritual organs, we actually sort of feel into them opening. So for your third eye, it's an actual third eye, and it allows us to really see through